Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial video. On this video we'll be learning how to make a side draped skirt. So first things first, we're going to get our measurements. The measurements we need for this outfit is the skirt waist, your hip, and the skirt length. So first things first, we're going to draft a straight skirt, and these measurements we are going to divide it by 4 plus allowance. You can either use 1.5 or 2 inch as your allowance, depends on your preference. So you get your material, unfold. We're going to cut the back part first, and then we'll mark out our waist measurement. Then we'll mark out our hip, the depth of our hip. So I'm removing 2 inches on top for the band, and then I'm going to mark the distance from my waist to my hip. When I get it, then I'll mark up my hip measurement. Then the same what I got for my hip measurement, that's what I'm going to mark up to the skirt length. Because the skirt is not an A-shaped skirt, it's just a simple straight skirt. So this is the pattern for the front, just a simple straight skirt, and then we'll join our lines together. So guys, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please pause this video and subscribe. I'll wait for you. Subscribe guys. So I'm going to mark out my hip area now, can you see? And then I'm going to cut out my measurements. So this is the first thing that you're going to do for you to achieve your draped skirt. First, the first things you're going to do is to cut out your skirt pattern first. And mind you, you have to do this on a pattern paper first. You can't do directly on your material. So we're going to, okay, this is the front. So for us to cut out the back, you get another material like so, unfold, and then the different, you already know the difference between the front and the back of a skirt is the zipper allowance area. That's just it. Every other thing is the same. So you mark out your zipper allowance area, and then you cut out your measurements like so. So guys, when you're done cutting out your measurement, that's where the work starts. Because if you look at the screen, you see what we want to make, a draped skirt. Do you understand? And mind you, you have to do this. You first have to cut your skirt material on a pattern paper first. Please don't go directly on your material. You have to cut it as a pattern first. So you notch your zipper allowance area on top and below. Then at the back, you mark out your darts for the back. I didn't mark darts for the front. No, it doesn't. The front doesn't have darts. The back has darts. So I'm going to mark out my darts for the back. So I slit open the back part, and then I'm just drawing my zipper allowance area so that you know this is your zipper allowance, and then you notch it on top and below, and then you label your pattern. This is my back, the back of the skirt. So now I'm getting my dart leg. To get your dart leg, you can just use your nipple to nipple just to get the dart leg of your skirt. Do you understand? So if your nipple distance of your nipple is 8 inches, then your dart leg in your waist is going to be 4 inches, right? Then the deepness can still be 4 inches too. Then you take it in by half inch by both sides, and you connect your darts. That's all for the dart. So as I said before, the dart is going to be at the back, not at the front. I won't be putting a dart at the front. So when you're done, when you transfer it to your material, this is how your dart will look. Can you see? So we're done with the back now. The main work is at the front area. So now you open up the front area. Can you see? When you open up the front pattern of your skirt, then you mark out that hip line that you already marked before. You just complete the line from one end to the other end. Now the reason why I'm marking out this hip area like this, for this particular design, I don't want the drape to pass the hip line. So now I'm going to get the distance. So it's 5 inches. Now 5 inches, right? Do you understand? From the waist to the hip line is 5 inches. Can you see? So I'm going to mark out 1 inch apart. Can you see? I'm marking out 1 inch apart. 1 inch. Can you see? I'm marking out 1 inch, and so I'm going to connect that lines slantly to the other side of this skirt pattern. Guys, just watch this tutorial and you will understand it. Follow it step by step and you will understand it. Now when you're marking your slant line at the other end, you know you're starting from one end to the other. At the other end, don't complete it. Don't let it touch the hip of the other side too. As time goes, you see the reason why. So you slant your lines like so. As you can already see I'm doing, just follow the steps on this video and you will get it right. So I'm done slanting it now. Can you see? I didn't roll it up to the other edge of the skirt. So now when I'm done slanting it, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut open these lines. So I'm going to cut open my lines like so. Now I'm not going to cut the skirt completely open. I'm going to leave it stop. Can you see? I stopped. I didn't complete it. I didn't cut it out completely because I want the draping to be on that open part. You get? I want the fullness of the skirt, that drape effect to be there more. So that's why I didn't slit it open completely. So guys, if you have any question up to this part, you can ask in the comment section. I'll try my best to explain. Please, you should watch this video till the end so that you will understand this and so that it will be easier for you. Yes. So guys, now this is the first part of our work for the front part of the skirt. So the next thing we're going to do now is to place it on the fabric we are working with. So can you see? This is how it's looking now after cutting it open. Now the next thing we're going to do is to place it on the fabric we are working with. Now you open up your fabric and then you place it. Can you see? Just open up your fabric. You're not folding it. Just open it up. Do you get? You are not folding your material as if you're cutting. No, just open up your material and then place your pattern on top of it like so. Please be careful so that your pattern won't tear. So you place your pattern like so, just as I'm placing mine. Can you see? Just watch it and you will understand. So at this point you need either your masking tape or your normal tape, something to hold down your pattern paper to your material so that it will not shift, so that it will not be shifting. Do you understand? So you're going to use your masking tape to just hold it down to your material so that both the pattern paper and your material won't be shifting when you're making your marks and your lines. So when you're done, now it's time for us to determine the distance. Now on this video now, I made the distance to be 1 inch apart. The distance on the slit parts, I made it to be 1 inch apart. Can you see what I'm doing? That from the distance of the opened, you know that part we slit open now, the distance from one part to the other part, the wideness, I made it 1 inch in this video. So now after measuring the 1 inch, you use your masking tape or your pin, anything you have to hold it down to your material. Can you see what I'm doing? When I measure the distance from one to the other, I used 1 inch. Can you see? From one to the other, I measure 1 inch and then I use my masking tape to hold it down. So this is what I'm going to do for all the pieces, all the strips that I cut out. Can you see? 1 inch, you close it. Now the reason I said we should use pattern paper is because if you use material, you see that you will waste a lot of material. You will waste a lot. But if you use pattern paper, at least you can still use your pattern paper again. And if you make any mistake, it will be on your pattern paper, not on your main material, not on your fabric that you are working with. So now can you see? They are all 1 inch apart. Now the last one, you can do it 3 inch or 2 inch, or do you understand? But I did mine 2 inches apart. I just wanted to experiment to just see. Do you understand? The more the material, the more the spacing, the more the effect. That's what you know. Do you get? So this is the next stage. Now when you're done, I want to show you now the distance, 1 inch apart from each of them. So now when you are done with this, now you now just mark a line across what you've already pinned down, what you've already pinned down, sorry. So just mark a line like so. Can you see how I'm slanting it like a pyramid? You know the reason, you later see the reason why I'm making it like so. Will you understand it? Please just follow the steps. If you have any question, you can ask. And if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Let's get to 1,000. We can do this, guys. We can. So back to serious business. So can you see I'm just tracing it out with my chalk. So when I'm done tracing it now, the next thing to do is to cut it out. Can you see? This is how it looks. Don't worry, it will come out nice. Don't be scared. So I'm going to cut it out now, but I realized that the spacing of that 1 inch, it didn't give the effect that I wanted it to give. So I changed it. I opened it wider. I made each spacing, the space between each one of them, to be 2 inches, because when I finished making that 1 inch, it was too, the effect wasn't so much. You see the reason why it's good to use pattern paper. When you use pattern paper and you see it doesn't give you what you want, you can easily change it. But if it's that I use directly on a material, now I've already wasted that material and I'll just use it even when I don't like it. So this is more reason why you need to use pattern paper most times. So now I'm opening it wider. You can see that this part now that I'm using, these 2 inches that I'm using apart from there, now you can see that the effect is wider. The skirt is wider now, like so. So now after changing it to 2 inches apart, it's time for me to cut out this material. Now before cutting it out, you remember that diagonal shape I made earlier? I'm going to make it now. That diagonal shape is a diagonal shape or slant shape? But that shape is just to prevent you from cutting out the material. That's when you finish cutting the material, so that you won't cut it in a way that it will not have an excess. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You need to see what I'm doing for you to understand it. Just know that when you're done sellotaping it or marking it to your material, just slant it like so. The edges, the open edges, just slant it like so. But the distance should be 1 inch high. Do you get that? It should be 1 inch. Can you see? It's 1 inch high. So let's not get tired. Let's do this, guys, because this style is very beautiful when you're done and it's trending. So you need to make something that is trending so that you attract more clients to yourself. Yeah. So now I'm just cutting out. I just want to cut out the material, that's the part that I'm going to use. You get? So this is just a rough cutting, not the main thing. So I'm just going to cut out like so that we'll be able to work with the parts that we've already sellotaped to the material. So now this is the part that we should pay attention to. So now the next thing we're going to do now is to cut out our material. So what we are going to do now is just watch what I'm doing on the screen. Do you get? Remember, we've already added our allowances to this. So it's time for us to cut. Now see how I'm cutting it. Can you see? Just follow your paper, and then when you get to your diagonal shape, you cut it that same way. Can you see? Can you see how I'm cutting it? Just follow your lines and cut it like so. So this is what you're going to do from the beginning to the end of this skirt. Guys, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. to my channel for more tutorials. And if this tutorial is helpful to you, do like, share, comment, tell your friends to come and learn something new. Yes, tell them to come and learn something new. So guys, as you can see now, can you see the way I'm cutting it out? Can you see? So this is exactly how you're going to do yours. Now please, if you want to make this draped skirt, I will advise you to first of all try it out on a cheaper material. Do you get? Before you try it on a main fabric, or before you cut it out for your clients. It's better you make mistake on a cheap material and then you know your mistakes than you just spoil your client's material. So if it's your first time of trying it out, try it out first on your own dress and then make sure that you get it correctly before you cut it out on your client's material. And please make sure you use a pattern paper first. Don't cut directly on your material. So I'm done tracing it out. So when you're done tracing out, this is how it's going to look like. Can you see how it is? You'll be saying, how is this thing going to form a skirt? I got you guys, don't worry. Just know that, just follow the steps and then you get it. So now it's time for us to make that effect, that draped effect. Now look at it. From one end, you pick one edge. When you remove the strip, you pick from one edge of the triangle to the other triangle. Can you see? From one edge to the other edge. Can you see? And then you pin it. So you need to have your pin by your side. Can you see? Then you remove the second strip. Take it from one edge to the other edge. You pin it again. Can you see? Please pay attention to this part because this part can be confusing for some people, but you can get it, okay? You can do it. So, and always do it line by line. You see how I'm doing it line by line because I want you to understand. Do you get? So from one edge, just know from one edge of the diagonal line to the other edge. One edge to the other. So that diagonal line should be like your guide. Should be your guide on how to pin it up and how to hold it from one edge to another. So this is what you are going to do from the beginning to the end. Can you see that it's already forming that whole draped effect? It's already forming it. So when you're done, just complete it and then pin your material. Pin it together. When you're done, you see that your skirt is still the same length with the same normal length of your skirt. It didn't increase or anything. It's still the same normal length. Can you see? So this is how the front is going to be when you iron it and all that. Do you get? So now the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to sew that place to hold it down. Do you get? We're going to sew it. So after that, we're going to keep the front. This is the front piece, right? We're going to keep it and then complete the skirt because we're going to complete the whole skirt. So now this is the back. There's nothing so serious about the back. Just cut out the material for the back. And then please hope you also remember that our back part, the zip allowance area, is not always straight. It's curvy because of our back side is not straight now. It's curvy, so you have to follow it so that it will give the back of your skirt shape. So now we're cutting out the back of this skirt. The back of this skirt doesn't really need so much, just normal thing. Use your pattern paper to cut out the back. Then what you're going to do is to join the center back. Just join the center back and then you close your darts. Yes, join the center back and then you close your darts. If you have lining, you're lining the back if you want to. If you don't want to, just join the back, the center of the back. Remember to always notch your zipper allowance area, then notch your dart leg area. So what we're going to do first, I just dropped the front. Let's focus on the back. Just join the center of the back and then you create your dart legs. Yeah, so guys, if you have any question at this point, you can let me know, ask your questions. I'll try my best to reply and answer your questions too. And remember to click on the subscription button and subscribe, so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be the first to get it. And you can request for videos. I'll try my best to help you out. So guys, I'm done with the back. This is the front. So now, as I said before, we'll now join this place, this draped part. We'll join it. So we're holding it down so that it won't pull off now when we remove our pin. Do you get? So now I've joined it, and this is how it looks. Can you see? Can you see how lovely it's looking? So now the next thing we're going to do is to join our front and our back skirt together. So just to shape it, do you get? The normal way you shape your skirt, you fix in your waist measurement divided by 2, your hip measurement divided by 2, and then you just sew it down at both sides. So I'll go and sew it and then come back and show you how it's supposed to look like. So when I'm done sewing it, this is how it's going to look like. Can you see? I've joined the front and the back together. This is the back, or not the front. So this is the back of the dress. Now you can now cut out that excess of the triangle effect. Do you get? You can now cut it out because we have gotten our draped effect on our skirt. Can you see? So now I wanted us to see something. Now the front is longer than the back. It doesn't matter. You can just trim it. It's better it is longer than it being shorter. If it's longer, you cut it short. But if it's shorter, you can't do anything. Do you get? So now they are both the same length, the same size. So this is how your skirt is going to look like. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to fix our band of the skirt. Yeah, the next thing we're going to do is to fix the band. So we're going to open up that zipper allowance area. I didn't close it completely. Do you get? So you're going to open that zipper allowance area, and then you measure your back, your round waist, because we want to add our band. Do you understand? So because we want to add our band, we'll measure our waist round, and then whatever we get, we're going to get another material and cut a strip, long straight material. Whatever we get, you fold the material in unfold. I got 18.5, so I added 2 inches allowance. That's I think 20.5. Your material is unfold, and then you cut it. Remember, we created space for our band as 2 inches for our band. So what we're going to cut out is going to be 4 inches, so that when we fold it into 2, we're going to get 2 inches. Hope you understand. So yes, that's what we're doing. We're creating our band now. So if you don't know how to create band for a skirt, come here, let me teach you this one too. You'll still learn. Yes, so you get your band, and you can still create this band. You can still use this way of creating band for your trouser too, for any kind of skirt too. So now you're going to get, once you've gotten your measurements, your band, you fold it like so at the 2 edges by 1/2 inch. When you fold it, it's preferable you use your iron to iron it down so that it will stay. Can you see? I've ironed down my own. Can you see? So the next thing we're going to do now is to join it to our skirt. The first things first. Can you see how I joined it? That 5 inch that I measured and ironed down, I'm going to sew it on the skirt base round. So when I sew it, I'm going to show you how it's going to look like, and then I'll show you how I'll cover it so that your stitching is going to be neat. For people that won't use lining, so that it's going to look neat when you're fixing your band. So when you're done fixing that one, can you see how it's looking? Now the next thing you're going to do is to close the edge of your band. So see, you fold your band like so, and then you sew this part. Let me use pin so that you understand what I'm saying first before I do it. And then you turn it up like so. Can you see that the edge is looking neat? Can you see how neat it's looking now? And then you close it up. Can you see what I'm showing you? Please, hope you understand this thing, because this is what's going to make your inner sewing look neat. When you're fixing your band will look so neat. Yes, it will look so neat. So I'm done fixing my band now, and I want you to see. Can you see the skirt? Imagine this skirt, I just did 3 effects and it's looking like this. Imagine if we did like 5 or 10 lines. Can you see how neat the band is looking? So can you see how neat it's looking? So guys, this is how our draped skirt, side draped skirt, is going to look like. You fix your zip and then you close up the rough edges and we are through. So thank you guys for watching, and if this tutorial was helpful to you, do like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and see you on my next tutorial. Bye.